What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, y'all? We got the funky bunch in the building, y'all. I'm a minute late. Shut your damn mouth up. Somebody said it's 6 p.m. What's going on? What's going on is that Miss Quad, she got it. She got it. Today is Quad's birthday, guys, and she's having a birthday dinner at 7 o'clock today. And I had two choices. It was either pre-record the show or do the show at 8 o'clock. Coincidentally, I had a dentist appointment today with Dr. Heavenly. And when I got to Heavenly's shop, I said, should I call Quad and ask her if she gonna be on time to her party and remind her that this is a Tuesday and it's a school night and people got things to do? And Dr. Heavenly was like, well, I called her and I told her me and Daddy coming and she need to be on time. And she said she gonna be there by 7:30. And I said, well, Heavenly, I'm gonna text her too. I'm gonna text her too, just to reiterate it. And she hit me right back. She says she gonna be there at 7:30. She ain't gonna be there at 7:30. However, I think the fact that people been getting on her about being late, she gonna get there at least by 8 o'clock and not get there at 10. Because the Quad, we all know the invitation will say 7 and she'll get there at 10:30. Then walk in like, hey y'all, it's my birthday. And everybody be hungry, belly button touching their spine, parking don't expire, babysitter talking about they gotta leave, dogs done peed all in the house, around here waiting on Quad, and wasn't nobody trying to do that on no Tuesday, especially if I didn't have to move my show. I could have just did it, got off at 9 and got there at 9:15 because you wasn't gonna get there till 10 anyway. Okay, so that is why I am doing the show early. And when I tell you I'm gonna take plenty of pictures, shouts out to my stylist Erica Benoit. But when I tell you I got an old nasty outfit I'm finna wear. Let me show y'all the shoes. Y'all know they say I act like I ain't never had nothing. Baby, these ain't the ones I wanted. The ones I wanted wasn't in my size. But baby, when I tell you this brown outfit I'm finna put on with these Louis Vuittons, baby, I'm finna come in there high stepping. King better watch out because I'm going out for best dress tonight. I'm gonna be the best dressed in the senior class of 2025 down to this party tonight. Oh, baby, we're gonna have us a funky good time down to this whole party. So that's what's going on with that. Down to the bar Nashville, those tickets are rolling in steady. I'll be there this Saturday. I'm taking the nail polish off. I'm taking The party is this Saturday. The tickets are rolling in. Y'all keep buying the tickets and let's have a good time. Guys, if in the middle of this show you hear the dogs barking or you hear some banging and knocking, that's because the construction crew is downstairs. The construction of the new set actually started yesterday or whatever, and they should be done by Friday. And when I tell y'all, I cannot wait to unveil the new set and show it to you guys because it is going to be sickening. It's just going to be sickening. I got pictures of it now. That I could show y'all, but I was like, I didn't want to ruin the surprise. I was like, let me just show it to them when it's ready. Do y'all want to see it when it's ready, or do y'all want to see the AI mock-up of it now? Which one? LaShonda G said, oh, this is live. Yes, it is live, LaShonda G. Do y'all want to see the set now? The mock-up? Okay, wait for the big reveal. They saying don't wait. I'll show it to y'all. Okay, cool. I'll show it to y'all when it's ready. Last but not least, guys, I went shopping. I went walking yesterday when I got off of work. Me and Trina went walking. And I must say I really enjoyed it. The I don't know what you call it. The two big dimples on the side of my butt, those hurt. This part right here, this piece right here. Damn, I got a big ass. Got a big old ass and bow legs and fire head and all that shit that I want. That part of my ass was hurting. That's the hips. Okay, well these hips don't lie. Because we was walking up and down them sidewalks and whatnot, and it was giving my hips something they could feel. I thought I was going to be real sore this morning. But tell me why out of shape black people, we work out 1 or 2 times and think we see results already. Baby, when I took my clothes off in the mirror, first and foremost, baby, I took my girdle wrap thing, and I wrapped that thing so doggone tight, I was felt. And we walked, we talked, had a good time. And I promise y'all, between that and my ryze, when I woke up this morning, I promise y'all, I felt like my stomach was flat and I was fine, and I could have been in the Playboy magazine. So I was like, I got to keep on doing it. Now, it don't make it no better, y'all. When we finished walking, we had went to Fazoli's. And okay, and had got a nasty pepperoni pizza. What I added green peppers, I added ham, sauce shit, and pineapple and green peppers to it. I did have a side salad, and I had a root beer. Whenever I have a pizza, I got to have me a strong Coke or a strong root beer. But here's the thing. We would have went to Fazoli's anyway. So it did work out, because at a minimum, I didn't add no calories to my stomach. I just canceled out the additional ones I would have got with Fazoli's. I'm going to take a win wherever I could get a win at. And that was a win. I ain't really walking to lose weight. I'm walking to get in shape. You know what I'm saying? I'm not big like y'all. I don't need all types of pills and potions. Just a little bit of ryze, my little ryze coffee, which is still cleansing me and working me good. And I'm going to tell y'all one thing I have noticed about this ryze, real talk. And I know I talk about it a lot. They need to give me a damn sponsorship. I didn't realize like how much waste we really do carry around. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, since I've been going more regularly, it's actually given me an even bigger appetite. And I don't know if that's because my body is emptying out multiple times throughout the day, but it is actually regulating my appetite, and I'm able to eat adult-sized portions of food. And I don't know, I kind of like it. I kind of like having this regular appetite and whatnot. So shouts out to the ryze people. And yeah, that's how they go. Let's get into this, guys. We got a small political corner. And if y'all feel me touching my face or whatnot throughout this thing, that's because I'm still kind of sore from the oral surgery that I had today. But in our political corner, nothing too crazy or nothing that's too upsetting for us, because I purposely was like, I ain't in the mood to be upset today. But Trump Republicans, House Republicans proposed an $880 billion in cuts to fund Trump's tax breaks. So House Republicans have they've unveiled what they're calling cost-cutting centerpiece of Donald Trump's proposed big, beautiful bill, but it comes with the price tag that millions of Americans may feel directly. The legislation drops a staggering $880 billion in proposed cuts, largely targeting Medicaid, to all help foot the bill of this $4.5 trillion in tax breaks, renewing Trump's 2017 tax overhaul. The bill revealed Sunday night he's already triggered the biggest healthcare fight since the GOP's failed Obamacare repeal in 2017. The bill proposes new work requirement eligibility verifications and out-of-pocket costs for Medicaid recipients. While Republicans argue these measures are necessary to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse, Democrats say this plan could strip healthcare coverage for more than 8.6 million people. This is shameful, said one of the people. The GOP plan will require able-bodied adults with dependents to work or participate in job training programs at least 80 hours a month to qualify for Medicaid. Verification would also jump from once to twice a year, and households with homes valued over $1 million would be barred from enrolling. The bill even takes aim at states that provide Medicaid to undocumented immigrants, cutting 10% cuts in federal contributions to those programs. Meanwhile, House Speaker Mike Johnson is racing towards Memorial Day deadline to get Trump's bill fully passed. Now, listen, I'm going to be very honest with you. I am of the belief that our welfare system does need an overhaul. It does need reform. There are certain things about this bill that were appealing to me, especially the part that said, it would require able-bodied adults with dependents to work or participate in job training programs at least 80 hours a week. Keyword able body. I have no problem with that. But the only thing that bothers me about this overall is that this is not coming from I want to provide welfare reform for all the right reasons. This is simply, I want to cut Medicaid programs so I can continue to pass tax cuts along to the wealthy and the rich. He's cutting it to the undocumented. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't have enough fight in me to fight for Medicaid for the undocumented people. I hate to be like this, but in this situation, I got to throw my hands up and be like, oh, well, I can't fight that fight right now. A lot of people, when it comes to welfare and food stamps and whatnot, they love to paint this narrative across all the races that there's just this big underbelly of lazy people that are just sitting around sucking up all the resources. And sure, we do know a few, but I am here to tell you those few shining examples of people who are taking advantage of the program, that's not the total picture. That's not the total picture. And if we have to let a few degenerates slide through in order for grandma and auntie and the people who need it, then so be it. In the food industry, you call it waste. In other industries, we call it a spill tab. In accounting, we got the 2% marginality rule. You know what I'm saying? I am willing to bet that the amount of people who are abusing the system truly is a drop in the bucket compared to how many people who truly need it. And if we get some of this stuff taken away from people, guys, we may not get it back. So while, people are shrink, that's right. While people are so happy, yes, right, they lazy. You know what I'm saying? You need to be thinking further ahead and think about what the implications are for your Aunt Gert, what the implications are for Big Mama. You know what? If in order for Big Mama and Aunt Gert to get their benefits, Shanika over there with 17 kids got to get hers, then so be it. So I urge y'all, be careful before we get to jumping on this. Yeah. I hate the welfare queen. I hate the trailer trashes that's getting Medicaid and welfare, because folks need this stuff, especially our seniors, especially our young mothers, so on and so forth. And then what's the litmus test going to be for able body? Okay, if he start filling these organizations in with his MAGA people, I can see a world where blacks don't get approved, whites get approved, Latino people don't get approved. We have to be very careful when we start trying to reform stuff like this. Again, I'd rather a few bad apples get through the bunch, get through the threshold to ensure that everybody else gets their stuff, than cause everybody to lose their stuff because we're trying to get rid of a few bad apples. That's all I'm saying. Moving right along, guys, to the Diddy Corner. I was in the backyard today, guys, and I was just thinking to myself, there may be a world where Diddy gets away with some of this or gets off with a lot of it. Now, I'm never too big, nor do I have my head too far up my ass where I can't dial back my words or I can't say I was wrong. And yesterday I went on a whole diatribe about this girl not wanting to be peed on. And you've got the stripper, dancer, escort came out and told all the stories about how she was one of the ones who initiated the peeing on her and all of this. And listen, that may mean something or it may not mean something. I mean, there could be a world where she was doing what she was told prior to the guy being there. There could be a world where she was drugged up so much that she was just into it. There could be a world where she was detached from her body, but there also could be a world where, for many years, Diddy and Cassie were just partying, and that's where it started and stopped. I think somebody said to me in one of the comments, they said, listen, people have their kinks, and we don't need to be focused on the kinks. We need to be focused on the crimes, okay? And that's where I'm at with it. I'm going to focus on the crimes and not the kinks. Whether she initiated being peed on or not, I think it's neither here nor there. Like I said yesterday, she could have been down with it the whole time. But one time of not being down with it is enough in my book, and that constitutes a crime. But listen, this thing is getting very interesting, and this is why I was saying, Rio, stop it. This is why I was saying that those daughters did not need to be in that courtroom, because things are getting very graphic. And the reality of the situation is just about all of the testimony from most of the witnesses is going to be this graphic level of testimony, because the prosecution, it's their job to paint her out as a willing participant, and the defense, it's their job to paint her out as a poor defenseless victim. And both sides are going to have to exploit the sexual details of what took place in full graphic capacity in order to get their points across. This is a lot, guys. It's a lot. And I didn't even think Cassie was going to take the stand this early. I'm glad that we've got news outlets and Twitter people who are in the courthouse reporting live, giving us live updates. But I'm not going to lie to you. I really kind of wish that this would have been televised. This definitely would have been one of those things where we would have all been at work in the break room trying to find out what all was going on and looking at it at our desk and not getting any level of work done because we got CNN in this phone, in this ear, and our earpiece in this one. We are about to learn a whole lot of stuff that's about to change the way we look at a lot of people throughout this case. So all I'm saying is buckle up. I will say this. I still think at the very end of the day, Cassie was the victim. She said that Diddy got her and started having sex with her when she was 17. She was inexperienced. The first time she had sex with him was on a boat in Miami where he gave her blue dolphin ecstasy. As somebody who has gotten high off of party drugs and participated in sexual exploits, I will tell you, when you are high, your inhibitions are down. When you are high, you are horny from places that you didn't even exist. And there just is a world where, you know, she could have been so inebriated that she just didn't know what was going on. And I can also tell you this, that when you are in a situation, sometimes you can have no control over how your body physically responds, despite the fact that your mind is saying no, your body will still respond. So there is a lot going on. And, you know, all we can do is let this thing play out in the court of law. Somebody said victim blaming is sick. I don't think anybody, or at least I don't think what I was doing in this moment was victim blaming. And if it was, please correct me. I think what I was doing in this speech was just having open dialogue and thinking out loud. I also think blindly believing people is sick as well, especially when somebody's life, livelihood, and legacy is on the line. And that's not the case in this Diddy situation, but no, people, men and women, have showed us that they are low down, and we can't just be, I know the Me Too movement is supposed to taught us that we're supposed to just instantly believe folks, but I'm going to tell you something. I ain't really comfortable with that. I ain't really comfortable these days with just blindly believing folks, because we see that people have ulterior motives. And Danity 101 says, I was victim blaming. Well, if I'm guilty of that, that wasn't my intention. Charge it to my head and not to my heart. That wasn't my intention. But I can't help thinking out loud and thinking this whole thing through. On another Diddy and Cassie note, Alex Fine, Diddy's husband, Cassie's husband, was asked to leave the courtroom. Acting on a defense request, Judge Subramanian said Fine must leave the courtroom when questioning turns to Cassie's allegation that Combs raped her in 2018. That's because Combs' lawyers say they may call Fine as a witness later in the trial in an attempt to discredit Cassie's allegations. Prosecutors argue that Fine is a part of her emotional support system for Cassie, who's pregnant with their child and should be in the courtroom when she testifies. Yes and no. From a husband perspective, yes, he should. But from a legal perspective, if this thing is going to be right, fair, and done right, then he needed to leave for that portion. Just is what it is. It just is what it is. I think so many people are looking at it from the husband and wife perspective, and I get it. If I was going through this, I want my significant other there too. But we also don't want a mistrial. We also don't want things to get complicated because he was there, and you can't be support and be a witness all at the same time in the same day at the same place. So whatever, she'll survive. I hate to say it, she survived the worst. And at the end of the day, there's nothing stopping her from going back to the hotel and telling him everything that she said on the stand anyway. And you're not going to get me to believe that somebody didn't slip no type of recording device in their doggone pockets, whether it be her lawyers, his lawyers, or whatever. He's going to get the information any doggone way. So, you know, it ain't no super duper biggie. Is it me? Or has anybody wondered why we have not heard or seen Cassie's parents throughout this whole thing? I'm just curious to know as why we haven't seen any like rogue interviews from like her parents on Inside Edition or TMZ. Did we see any photos of like her parents going into the courtroom, like her siblings, her high school guidance counselor? Like they're trying to paint this picture that she's only got one person in her life, and that's Alex Fine. And it's kind of hard for me to believe. But somebody said at this point, I'm wondering if she even got any parents. Somebody said maybe they're scared. Are they citizens? They're probably embarrassed. Oh, somebody said, Eskrella Cosby said her mom and her brother were there. They said her brother was there. Okay, cool beans. Well, you know, him leaving for a certain part of her testimony is not gonna swing her to the bank left or right. Jennifer Williams. We got two Jennifer Williams stories here. The first one, y'all, I take major exception with, and she says Evelyn Lozada must have a problem with Black women. Get into this.
It might be Evelyn really has something against Black women, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there because I feel like every season she is trying to go in on a Black woman. And that's just real.
Yeah, Monty, can you go downstairs?
All right. So I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't like this one bit. I didn't like this one bit. And I didn't like it for two reasons. First of all, you're not finna sit up here and act like y'all cast is diverse. There's nobody else for her to get into it with outside of a Black woman. All of y'all is a cast full of Black women. Here is the second reason why I don't like it, and it's deeply personal for me. Because the person who started that funky Dineva don't like Black person shit, it came from all of this came from, you know, off the heels of Me Too and Black Lives Matter with the Black Girl Magic thing. And like, it became the new thing, like Black girls stick together, which I think is great. But then there also became this movement that once you said somebody don't like Black women, then that was cue for everybody to go in and attack, right? I don't like that. I feel like Jennifer in this was purposely trying to rile up that group of girls over there who the minute they hear somebody hate Black women, they're ready to attack. Somebody put Susie in the chat. We are not finna go back. We are not about to go back to the first couple of seasons of Basketball Wives. Let's just keep it within the realm of the last 5, 6, 7 seasons. With the exception of that girl, Cece, you know what I'm saying, which Evelyn did get into it with her too. Who else is there for her to get into it with on this show? I don't think it has anything to do with anybody being Black. Maybe I'm seeing something that now, do I think and do people think Evelyn is a colorist at times? Sure, because we know that that type of thing is prevalent within those communities. But this whole, I think she got issue with Black women. Jen, I don't know. As somebody who always gets called to the carpet for that same stuff, and the people who do it don't even mean it, they just do it from the angle of wanting to get people mad with me. Like I kind of don't like what you're doing, Jen. It just don't sit well with me trying to rile up all the angry black women over there in the corner to get them to hate Evelyn. When Evelyn has done enough for everybody to hate her, period, without the extra nuance of she hates black women. Now, if you want to say she was a colorist, that's a whole nother conversation. But trying to, she hate black women, she got too much of her sauce from black women, in my opinion. And like I said, Jennifer, that comment would actually have merit if y'all's cast looked like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, or if y'all cast looked like the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, where season after season, there was a rainbow of people she could go after, but she always went after the black person, then you might have two legs to stand on. But I'm just not buying it in this scenario and in this situation. But what I did find funny is Jen getting a little piece of backbone, because the old Jen would have never got Evelyn together the way she did with this felon comment. Take a listen.
You like to bring up that Christian is a felon a lot, and your daughter has a child by a felon as well. You seem to throw that up a lot, and it's for what?
First of all, I don't have a dog in the fight with who you choose to or be with. Carl's cousin was involved. That's not like something that I just decided to pull out of the air. It's a real thing. So I brought it to you so you can believe what I'm saying. But the difference is that your felon is currently stealing money from people today, tomorrow, yesterday.
Whatever you say.
And let me tell you something. You done talked about my daughter and you done brought my daughter, but you don't got kids. You don't got kids.
Yeah,
you never carried a kid. Keep my daughter's name out your mouth. Because you won't be able to walk the streets of LA. You keep bringing my daughter up and who she's with.
It's the double standards for me. Keep bringing my daughter up and who she's with, but you steady bringing up this lady husband and who she's with. Right, wrong, or indifferent. The only thing I wish Jen would have did was had a little more confidence and a little more bass in her voice when she brought up the felon thing. She even brought it up like she was scared. You keep bringing it up, calling him a felon, but your daughter had a baby. Like, say it. And you always want to talk about my damn husband, but talk about how your daughter laid up with a felon and don't even want her ass no more and got to sell his house in order to pay off a rape charge. That's how you were supposed to say that, Jen. That's how you were supposed to say it. That's how you were supposed to say it. But I'm glad that you did. For every time she called your husband a felon, come for her daughter. That girl is grown now. She's no longer a child. Come for her daughter. Lay her daughter out. And y'all better than me, because I would have been laid Evelyn out for the simple fact that her mama still staying in the same project apartment that Evelyn grew up in or was raised in. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that? And I don't give a damn. Some people was like, oh, maybe that mama didn't want to move child cheese. Don't nobody mama want to still be in the projects. All that money that Evelyn don't came across all these years, and all that pussy she don't sold, and her mama still standing in them apartments that Mary J. Blige stayed in. Girl, please. See, y'all don't be knowing what to say. Y'all don't be knowing what to say. I know what to say to back a bitch up off of me. I know what to say to back a bitch up off of me. Every time Evelyn went to do her mouth like this, she would have been nervous, worrying about what I was going to say about her mama or what I was going to say about her daughter. And she wasn't going to fight you too bad, Jen, because she would have lost her job over there at VH1. All you had to do at the top of the season was say, if she touched me, I'm going to be suing y'all down to the ground. Y'all better make sure this girl don't touch me. Oh, baby, y'all don't be knowing what to say. I would have gave Evelyn a run for her money. And if I didn't give it to her on the show, I'd be giving it to her on YouTube and in them confessionals. Jen, you've been bullied long enough. No tea, no shade. I honestly want them to add 2 more girls. I want to see what Basketball Wives would look like if they allowed 2 girls to come on that Jen picked, that about that life. And if Jen knew she wasn't going to get beat up and she had some cool girls around her, I'd be curious to know how much of her mind she would really give Evelyn, because this Jen being bullied, and y'all could talk about Evelyn is concerned and she's concerned and she's concerned. Here's my thing. If you so damn concerned, why ain't you? I cannot be mad with any of my homegirls for what their husbands do. I can have an opinion. I can be disappointed. I can call it out. I can gossip about it. I can spill the tea. But Evelyn is sitting there having a physical and an emotional response over $1,500 that wasn't even hers. That Jen, why are you so mad with Jen about the crimes that Christian created? That Christian committed? I'm just not getting it. In real life, yes, we would be side-eyeing Jen. In real life, we probably would say, Jen, you can't really come around no more. But I don't see a world where I would be mad with one of my friends because their husband is a scammer. And their husband scammed my child's aunt. And you listen, there is no way y'all gonna get me to believe in real life that Evelyn got any type of everyday casual relationship with that lady to be taking on her battles. You're not gonna get me to believe that. This is no shade to the lady. The lady was too raggedy. Y'all see the way they picked on Tammy. That lady was too raggedy. That lady was given assistant general manager at Family Dollar Tees, and y'all know Evelyn don't hang out with people like that. I refuse to believe Evelyn sitting up on the phone, going shopping, going out to eat with that lady. If Evelyn was close to the lady like that, then I could say, okay, maybe she feeling something. Evelyn ain't even cool with that lady like that. So miss me with all the super duper concern. Oh, Lizzo. Y'all, I thought when Lizzo got skinny, like all was going to be fixed in terms of the complaining and belly aching about the weight and the body image stuff. And I'm just not understanding how in every situation, Lizzo always finds a way to be the victim. All right. The latest is she says the industry is responsible for packaging and selling her fatness. Take a listen.
I was talking to my trainer at the time, and I was like, yeah, I want to just like intentionally like let go some weight, like get a little bit smaller, da 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 da. And he was like, oh, I'm about to fuck up your brand. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, what does that mean? And I had to think about that for a while, like, and that was when I was heavier. Mm-hmm. And, you know, X amount of pounds down later, I saw the backlash. People were upset. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Yeah. And that was what he was talking about. And two things are happening. The industry packaged and sold me and my fatness and my joy and all of that and marketed it to people. People saw themselves in that, but they also were just like, I don't know, how do I say this and being very respectful to my fans, because when it changed, it was like, you aren't that person. You're a liar. You know, you lied. Yeah. That wasn't real. What I was sold wasn't real. It's like, I got the package, I got the product, and then it was like always works, and then it stopped working.
You know, feel like if you were so proud of it, why would you lose?
You changed on me.
Yeah. Right. And how do I say this?
But there are all kinds of issues, like, you know, like health issues and things like that can come along with obesity and things like being fat. And it's like, why can't I want to?
All right, I've had enough. I'm not going to do too much on it because that's just an excerpt of a much larger interview, and I haven't seen the whole larger interview, but I've seen enough of it to say this. The industry didn't make you go to the Lakers game and bend over, show the world. The industry didn't make you get in your bathroom all the time, playing the flute half naked, so on and so forth. And all of this Lizzo weight stuff would really be easier if she just told the truth about all of it. All right. And the simple truth of it is, before I came into this industry, I was a jolly big girl, talented, got in the industry, I came in a little insecure, maybe not about my weight. It was amplified by being in the business. Psychologically, I made myself a joke before other people could joke about me. It's a coping mechanism. And while I was preaching body positivity, and yes, you do have to love the body that you're in, at the very end of the day, you can love your body and still not be happy about being big. All right. And because I had been big for so long in this space, and it's the brand that I built, when I began to lose weight, it created another level of change that I had to go through. And it was hard to navigate that stuff. But guys, I'm here to tell you that today on the Breakfast Club in 2025, I am happier as a slimmer version of myself than I was then. And I'm starting to come into the new me. Can we just tell the truth? All right. Here is the simple truth. And this is not to hurt anybody watching. Nobody wants to be fat. Outside of being gay, especially American society, fat's one of the worst things you can be, according to our society, the things that people shame you on. Nobody wants to be fat. When we are all kids in elementary school, the first thing we learn is to attack the fat kid. I know your big fat ass ain't talking. Fix your fat. That's why your mama fat, your big fat ass. Don't sit on me. That's the first thing we learn in school, is to pick on the fat kid. All right. The same way nobody wants to be overly skinny and look sickly. The same way nobody wanted big ass lips as kids. Me and Fantasia went through that. I had big ass pink lips. Okay. That come on. And yes, you can be happy in the body that you have, and that you can embrace the body that you have. But given an alternative, you pick any fat person and say, if God came down right now and rubbed two sticks together and gave you the option to remain fat or have a body that's more in line with the beauty standard in America, I can assure you every single last one of them would choose to have a body more in line with the beauty standard. My skinny ass, you know what I'm saying? I have to learn to love the body that I'm in, and whatever nigga I'm messing with, he got to get what I'm giving. But given the alternative, I'd much rather be shaped like Morris Chestnut than shaped the way I'm shaped. Given the alternative, I'd rather be shaped like Anthony Mackie than having this shape. We all want to be beautiful by whatever standard the community we occupy says. We all do. And I think that there was a lot of missed opportunity in this Lizzo debacle, because for years you went out here and preached, you go girl, let's be fat. And now those girls mad because they listened to you, they bought into it, and now you left them on an island by themselves. And now you've become the enemy while they over there like, you go girl, we fat, and they no longer have a leader. Here is the thing, Lizzo. I don't know what the context of the question that she was answering was. Lizzo, if I was you and if I were your team, from this day forward, I would have no more conversations about weight. It's like weight was the issue when you were big. Now that you're smaller, you're still making weight, or somebody is still making weight the topic of conversation. Lizzo, at this point, I don't even know what you're saying. I don't even know what you've sang lately. Stop it with the weight talk. Stop it. It's okay to be normal. And it's all right to say, guys, I was practicing loving myself, but I wasn't my happiest when I was that big. It's okay. It's okay. And somebody said, yes, she was saying most of what you were saying. Somebody said, like Monique used to make jokes about skinny bitches until she lost the weight. Absolutely. I don't care. And it don't even have to be fat. It could be one-legged. It could be bow-legged. It could be cross-eyed. Nobody wants to deviate from what the beauty standard is. Nobody. We all want to walk down the street and everybody say, who's that girl? Who's that guy? We all want to be desired sexually. We all want to be head turners. We all do. It's human nature and it's okay. And that is why me and so many others were so easily able to see through Lizzo and her BS. Moving right along to somebody else changing their body and their appearance. Scarlett. Scarlett says she's getting rid of the scar. Take a listen.
I made a decision. I'm going to get my scar removed this week. I scheduled the appointment. I'm nervous. I'm scared, but it's time to go. Guys, I made a decision. I'm
good for her. No commentary from me. No commentary from me. Good for her. Listen, you got the money to do it. You found you a nice plastic surgeon that can do it properly. That's what you want to do. Go for it, Scarlett. Yeah, and here's another one. She built a brand around it. My name is Scarlett. Let me call it out before you can call it out. Never let a bitch spray you with your own tea. So if I joke about my imperfections first, it doesn't sting when you do it. All the while, she didn't want that shit on her lip either. Because if she was so damn comfortable with it and loved the skin she was in, she would leave it. And this is not a read. That girl is beautiful. And I don't blame her for not wanting that shit on her face. I wouldn't want it on mine either, and neither would you. All right? So now we just going to call her lip. We just going to call her lip once she get it removed. But shouts out to you, Scarlett. Get it done. And last but not least, guys, we're going to do a 45-minute show today because I'm already going to be late to the party. But let's take a listen to Ocho Cinco talk about why he wear clothes from H&M. Take a listen.
You know what I paid for this? I don't care who see me, so I made my own personal video letting people know you probably gonna see me over and over in the same outfit. Let me give you
let me help you understand why.
And I always do that all the time. Dude, I shop at H&M. Look, this whole outfit, this cost me $60. It's Urban Outfitters, and it's from the sale rack. It's a Levi's jacket and some Dickies that's cut off. Like I'm a skateboarder. I don't skate, but I look good.
Yeah. So that's your whole thing.
And I've always been this way.
Yeah.
So you can't, the people on the outside that might be new to who I am now, that are a little older, don't understand. I've been this way the past 20, 25 years.
So you're not going to let society shape Ocho Cinco's idea of who he is or what he should be?
Never. I never been that way because I don't need validation from nobody on the outside. Never have. And that's another. That's
give you validation, you straight. The kids give you validation, that's day.
So listen, let's talk about that word validation, right? Let's talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and let's talk about status. There is one thing that people do, particularly in the Black community, that we do sometimes that gets under my skin. When they always be like, Black people, now let me not make it a Black people thing. Here is what people do. Sometimes you have a regular person and you have somebody else that's coming to a little money or got a little money. You always hear the statement, oh, well, rich people don't do that. You know, Warren Buffett drive an F-150. And normally that statement is typically coming from the person that doesn't have money. And it's their way of trying to knock the person with money down a couple notches. My rebuttal to that always is this. Warren Buffett can drive an F-150 because in every room he walks into, we know he's Warren Buffett. So he doesn't get the same rush or the same level of status that some of us get. Listen, we're not going to pretend like luxury cars are not status symbols. We're not going to pretend like designer clothes are not status symbols for people who want other people to know I got a little something. And it ain't nothing wrong with that, especially if you don't come from anything. It ain't nothing wrong with saying, bitch, I once was blind and now I see. It ain't nothing wrong with saying, I grew up in the projects, but look at me now. I'm not there anymore. And yes, there are people who sometimes, depending on what they came from and what they've gone through, that they need things to validate them sometimes. And ain't nothing wrong with that. All right. Chad Ocho Cinco, yes, great. Clothes may not be his thing, but the same psychological principle applies. Whether he have on them Dickies or a garbage bag, when he walk into any hot restaurant in Miami, all the girls are after him. Why? Because he's a dude with status and he got money. So he can do that. He can do, because he's already got that status in his mind. So y'all be eating this. Chad, good for you. Good for you. But you're also Chad Ocho Cinco. That's why you can do that with so much swag. Yeah, I might got on Dickies, but y'all already know. I got on Dickies, but y'all already know. Let us not have already known. He would want to let us know in some capacity. All right. And yeah, you may not do yours in clothes. Let me see where you stay. Let me see what you drive. Let me see what types of vacations you go on. Everybody spend their money on something. Everybody spend their money on something. Y'all know me, and I got plenty of money. I shop at Zara. But I like jewelry. I like expensive shoes. I like vacations. I like eating out all the time. Everybody spend their money on something. So while I get what Chad is saying, I'm not super duper impressed. Cool. You can do that, Chad. Your psychological need for status has been met. You're famous. You're famous. That don't apply to a regular person. One of us, we not doing that all the time. Why? Because we don't want nobody to think we're poor. See, nobody's going to think Chad's poor because he's not. But we not finna do that, walking around looking like a vagabond. Because we want people to think of us what we are. Got a good job, got a little piece of money. Anyway, it's 6:49. This half a party start in 20 minutes. I'm still gonna be late. I'm finna get off the line. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, no worries. That's the construction workers. They just left. And I'm about to leave. And I'll call y'all tomorrow. Bye.